conduction, right?
Dr. Moore, you're in the way.
Are you guys ready? And I want you to point out if I missed something. If I missed something, let me know. All right.
Okay.
The first thing that you want to start when we start doing this heart quiz is you got to get the heart beating first, because this heart is dormant. Yes, it's my heart, so don't beat it to death, ladies. You know, it's been abused. It's been abused over the years already. So it's on its last leg. So what you're gonna do is you got to get into beating, and it's not just a physical attraction that get our heart beating. All right. Sometimes it has to be emotional. So this time it's emotional. All right. The first one right here is number 73. That's where you're gonna start out. That is called the SA node, the sinoatrial node. Okay. That is like the pacemaker of the heart. That's where it's gonna start at. All right. When it starts there, it's going to send a signal here, and that signal is going to go across both atrium. Okay, both atrium. All right. Then as that signal go across both atrium, causing them to contract, it says depolarize. Okay, depolarize is another thing by saying contraction. Now that's going to go down. It's got an inherent rhythm of 90 to 100 beats per minute. All right, and now it's going to go down to about halfway right here at the base of the right atrium right here, and it's going to stop. That right there is called the atrial ventricular border. Okay, that's like the fibers. That's where that signal is going to stop, because if that signal would have bypassed that, then it's going to activate the ventricles. So what it does is that signal stop. That's going to tell the atrium, both atrium, to stop contracting, and then the AV node is going to kick in, which is number 74, which is inside here, where my finger at, that green 74, right there. Is going to depolarize, and it's got an inherent rhythm of 40 to 50 beats per minute. What that's going to do is going to send that signal right here, right into this part right here, which is called the bundle of his. All right, and then it's going to go down from the bundle of his. It's going to go down each bundle branches, 76 and 77, to the bottom where the Purkinje fibers is going up. And as it gets to the Purkinje fibers, it is going to give the heart a contraction upward from the apex of the heart upward, which is going to push all the fluid that's in the ventricles now out into the system, into your arteries and veins and all this other stuff, all through your arteries of the heart. That is the electrical conduction of your heart. Did I miss anything? All right. Now, how that correspond? Everything that I just told you, if you go to the EKG wave, the first hump of that wave is the P. The P wave. The P wave is just like telling you. In this right here, your atriums is going to be depolarizing. Okay? It's going to be depolarizing, causing your atriums to contract. All right? That's what's going on during that P wave. It states that. I might not say it verbatim on what's in the book. All right? Once it does that, then you got the P to the Q, which is right here to here. The P to the Q. That interval right there is when the atriums is starting to fully going through complete contraction. And once it gets through its complete contraction, it's going to start with the osmolar. I think it says osmolar volume or something there. Let me look at what this book said. It's been a while since I did this. But okay, like I said, I'm gonna start at the beginning. Right here where I say the SA node right here, at the beginning of the P wave, the SA node is going to depolarize and send a signal through the atrium. That's all happening in the P. So that means in this part of the heart right here, and this part of the heart right here are all getting a signal to contract. All right?
Yeah.
Now, from the P to the Q, from here to here, it's going from the SA node to the AV node. So you remember that border I was telling you about right here? That signal is getting ready to stop. So it says that signal will stop because it's going from the SA node is doing its signal and it's sending the signal down here to the AV node, which is here. That signal is getting ready to stop because of the border. When it stops, the atria depolarizes complete. That means complete contraction of the atrials had already happened. All right? Then it's got the atrial systolic, then blood flows through the AV into the ventricles. Okay, it flows through the AV valves, which is the tricuspid and the bicuspid valve, into the ventricles. That's all it's telling you. That's what's happening here. Blood is moving from the atria to the ventricles. Okay, it's moving in. All right. Once it does that, the QRS, and then the S, right here, the AV is starting to fire. That's right here. That's this right here. It's going to start to fire. When it's firing, it's sending the signals through the Purkinje fibers down here to the ventricles, telling them, hey, I got power now. Contract. Let's push this blood farther through the body. And that's what's happening at the QRS. The ventricles are now depolarizing. That's this ventricle over here, the right and the left is both depolarizing. And the atrial is starting to repolarize. So they're starting to get ready for the next event to start. So one is depolarizing, contracting, and the atrium is starting to relax, drawing that blood back into it, filling it back up. All right? Once it's filled back up, the atrium is filled back up, and it's the diastolic, that's the bottom number on your blood pressure. You're going to get that right there. Then it says the isometric, that just means it's pushing all the blood out of the heart. All that means isovolumetric contraction of the ventricle. That means it is pushing it out. All right? Then you're going to get the ST. The ST. The ST segment. Okay, during the ST segment, all the ventricles should have been completely depolarized. Completely depolarized, the ventricles should start going to a systolic and the full ejection or plateau of the myocardium. This here thick section right here of the heart over here, because as you can see, the left side, the heart muscles are a lot thicker than the right side. Yeah. Reason being, this is pushing blood through your body. This is only pushing blood within the heart section. So that's why this side is a lot thicker, a lot bigger, because this is actually working. So they say your muscles, your arms and biceps and legs, your heart works 10 times much more than the rest of your muscles in your body. So that's why it's bigger. So that's the ST segment. Everything is starting to level out. They get complete. Now, when the T hit, just like over here, the T, the ventricles are starting to repolarize. That means they do contracting, now they're relaxing, bringing in the fluid back into them, getting ready for the next segment. And as it goes from the T to the P, it starts it all over again. This starts to send a signal here, and it contracts and starts it all over again. That is one heartbeat. That's one heartbeat. You guys be like, all of that happens in about 0.8 of a second. 0.8 of a second. So if you get cut on a blood vessel, you can bleed that quick. People that has aortic aneurysm, if you're not if it ruptures, if you're not in the operating room when it happens, you're done. You're done. Your body, it's gonna fill your body up so fast with blood, you're done. So that's what I mean by the EKG. Now the blood flow. Everybody get kind of squirrely on that. Start where it's comfortable for you. All right? The book starts at the left ventricle. That's not comfortable for me. I start at the right atrium. That's comfortable for me. All right? But wherever you start, I'm going to go through an example for you guys. Okay. Blood comes in the right atrium right here. It goes through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, it comes out through the pulmonary semilunar valve right here. You see that right here? Through the pulmonary trunk, which is right here, pulmonary trunk right here, and it goes out through the pulmonary arteries, one here and one here, and it goes to the lungs. Now what happens when it goes to the lungs? It exchanges CO2 for oxygen. So now the blood is oxygenated, right? So now the blood is going to come from the lungs through the pulmonary veins, which is this one right here, and this one over here, into the left atrium. This is now oxygenated blood. All right? Now once it goes here, it's going to go through the bicuspid valve or mitral valve, whichever one you want to say, through the left ventricle, through the aortic semilunar valve, through the aortic arch, to the systematic personal capillaries of the body. I guess that's what that book says. But it goes through, you got your brachiocephalic, left common carotid, left subclavian. Those are all main arteries, which you'll learn about as time goes a little bit more, because you got to learn about the parts of the heart, right? So now once it does that, comes back through, it's going to come in through the inferior vena cava, which comes from all the blood from the lower extremities back to the heart, and the superior vena cava, which is up here, the superior vena cava, which is up here, coming from all the blood from your head and all that stuff back from your neck, back into the heart. And it's back into the right atrium. That is it. That is, I started at the right atrium, I ended up at the right atrium. That's all you gotta do. That's all that means. All right? Yes?
So at the same time, from the superior and inferior, they both go into the
Yeah.
right atrium?
Both go in. One coming in from the bottom, one coming in from the top. Now when we do heart dissection, we're gonna use popsicle sticks, and you guys are gonna label, it's gonna push the stick through the heart, showing you guys where's the inferior, superior, the or aorta, pulmonary, because the actual the three great veins, as they call them, the three great veins, which is these three right here, the three great veins as they call them, well, arteries, the three great arteries that they call them right here, they're not going to be on the sheep's heart because they usually just cut them out and put them on. But they will have the aorta, we'll have the pulmonary, we'll have the inferior and superior vena cava, all that in the heart. So we will be putting popsicle sticks in those. Yes?
It always mentioned like the left subclavian artery, but where's the right?
Good question. You see this one right here, number 6?
No.
Okay, number 6 is right here. It's called a brachiocephalic artery. If you go up higher, that breaks into the right subclavian and the right common carotid.
Okay.
All right? That's why. Same thing with the blue one here, with the vein right here. They talk about the brachiocephalic vein. Then it goes, these are them right here. You have the right and the left. That's them right here. All right? So you have to go up farther. So that's what that means. So if you don't see those things on the actual heart that we have, then just go find the brachiocephalic artery and go up, and then you'll see it up there. And then find the brachiocephalic
vein?
Yeah, the vena cava, find superior vena cava, and your brachiocephalic vein, and you can come up from the top, and you find it right out. Yes?
I was going to say, Megan, so you talked about, so that left brachiocephalic comes up, it branches, it becomes the right, so as it branches, your first branch is going to be the right brachiocephalic, then that branches off into the right common carotid, that's going to continue branching, so that branch, fork 1 is common carotid, fork 2 is going to be the right subclavian, and get it subclavian, below your clavicle, and it goes this way.
Okay.
So for us, make sure that you can mention, as Charles said, that it branches off from there. Don't be like, it's somewhere, and then just throw it in general, right?
Okay, thank you.
So that's what it is. So that should give you guys a clear understanding of what we're going to be looking for.